There comes a moment when exhaustion runs so deep that even the thought of catching up feels hollow. For years, you may have been running after a ghostly figure, hearing the echo of other people's triumphs, comparing yourself to timelines that were never truly yours. You pushed, hurried, and pressured yourself to match the invisible calendar of society. And then one day, silence arrived. In that silence, a truth was born. You were never late. There was never a train you had to catch, never a schedule written in stone. There was only the path unfolding beneath your feet the very moment you dared to take the next step. Fear often whispers in cruel tones. Look around. Everyone is ahead of you. They have families, careers, wealth, recognition. You are behind. You missed your chance. But fear always forgets one crucial thing. Your life is not a race course, and you are not a horse being measured by speed. The rhythm of your becoming is not comparable to anyone else's. Your journey is not behind schedule. It is simply your own. Think of a tree. One seed sprouts in spring, another waits until autumn rains soak the earth. The second tree is not weaker, not late. Its timing belongs to it. And years later, both stand tall, each offering shade, each bearing fruit in its own season. No one rushes a tree, no one calls it lazy. Nature honors rhythms. Only humans invented the cruel illusion of being too late. When you look at your life and feel the sting of missed opportunities, know that this sting is not a verdict. It is a shadow left by comparison. Someone else's timeline is not your truth. Someone else's success is not your map. You are not late. You are arriving, here, now, with everything that shaped you, with scars that carry wisdom, with experiences that carved depth into your being. Presence is not glamorous. It does not shine with fireworks. It does not announce itself in headlines. Presence is quiet, almost unnoticeable. It is the soft exhale you forget you are taking. It is the gentle weight of your feet resting on the ground. It is the awareness that in this exact moment, nothing is demanded of you except to be. And in that simple act of being, you are on time. Consider how many of your thoughts are shaped like debts. I should have done this by now. I should already be there. I should have achieved, owned, built, proven. Each should is a chain. Each should is a contract you never actually signed. Who decided those deadlines? Who measured your worth by milestones? The truth is, life does not measure you. Life receives you. Imagine standing at the edge of a river. The water does not ask, "Why are you here only now?" The river simply flows, and when you step into it, you are part of its current. You cannot be early. You cannot be late. You can only enter when you are ready. And readiness is not a date on a calendar. It is a pulse inside your chest, a quiet nod of your spirit that whispers, "Now." This part of your journey is not about achieving more, not about correcting the past, not about proving you are fast enough. It is about unlearning the lie that you are behind. Behind what? Behind whom? There is no universal clock. There is no invisible scoreboard. There is only you, and the path stretching forward like a horizon that waits patiently. You may feel regret, you may mourn wasted years. Allow that mourning. Let yourself grieve. But grief is not proof that you failed. It is proof that you cared. And caring means you are alive. That aliveness is your arrival. Right now, with all that you have lived through, you are stepping into your own time. Pause here, breathe. Notice how your chest rises, how the air enters, how it leaves. That is the rhythm of life, your life. Not faster, not slower, simply yours. And in that rhythm, you are perfectly on time. We are raised inside a story that teaches us to wait. Wait for the right season, the right partner, the right opportunity. Wait until you are prepared, until you are strong enough, until you feel worthy. And so, life becomes a series of postponed beginnings, as if the real moment has not yet arrived. But here is the quiet tragedy. The perfect moment does not exist. It is a mirage that dissolves the closer you try to approach it. How many times have you whispered to yourself, "I'll start when I have more money, when I feel less afraid, when the world calms down, when I'm healed enough, when I finally understand everything asterisk"? Each of these conditions is a stone placed in front of your own feet, building a wall between you and your life. You are not really waiting for the world. You are waiting for permission. And permission never comes because no one else has the authority to grant it. The myth of the perfect moment is seductive because it feels safe. If you tell yourself it is not yet time, you are spared the risk of failure. You can remain suspended in possibility, untested, still flawless in theory. But safety has a cost. Your life drifts past you while you rehearse for an entrance that never arrives. One day, you wake up and realize you have been waiting for decades, clutching a ticket for a train that will never stop at your station. Consider this: a child does not wait for the perfect day to take their first step. They wobble, they fall, they bruise, they try again. Perfection was never the requirement. Courage was. Nature does not hold back until conditions are ideal. Seeds break through cracks in concrete. Birds build nests in storms. Rivers carve canyons over centuries without ever pausing to check if the timing is convenient. The universe moves in imperfect conditions, and still beauty emerges. Your life is not meant to be paused until every piece fits neatly. It is lived in fragments, in chaos, in uncertainty. The moment you stand in now, with its confusion, its incompleteness, its open wounds, is not a waiting room. It is the beginning itself. You are not preparing to live. You are living, even here, even in the mess. Think of the times you felt ready when you thought, "Now is the moment." Did everything truly align, or did you simply choose to act despite the noise? Readiness is not external alignment, it is internal permission. It is the breath you take before stepping forward, even while your knees tremble. There is freedom in abandoning the myth. When you release the fantasy of the flawless start, you are left with the only thing that ever truly existed: this moment. It may not be perfect, but it is alive. And life is not waiting for you to reach some imagined milestone. Life is unfolding, like a river that never stops to ask if its banks are symmetrical. Understand this: the perfect moment is not a place you arrive. It is a choice you declare. When you say, "I begin now," the imperfect present becomes perfect enough. The cracked walls, the half-formed skills, the lingering doubts, all of it is part of the beginning. Your wounds are not obstacles. They are raw doors into deeper experience. Look around your life. How many things have you delayed because of this myth? Projects, relationships, self-expression, healing. How much of your energy has been locked away, waiting for a permission slip from a world that cannot write it? And yet, here you are, alive, breathing, capable of starting, even if your hands shake, especially if your hands shake. There is no orchestra preparing to announce your cue, no spotlight waiting to shine on you. The stage is already here, and you are already standing on it. The only question is whether you will speak your first line. So, let this be your realization. The perfect moment is a lie. The only real moment is now. And the courage to inhabit this moment in all its rough edges is the beginning you were searching for. You are not late. You are not waiting. You are here. There is a secret architecture to life that most people overlook. It is not about intensity, nor about speed, nor even about how much effort you throw into the world. It is about coherence, the alignment of intention, attention, and action. When these three currents move in the same direction, life flows with surprising clarity. When they scatter, you feel torn apart, exhausted, uncertain, like a signal breaking into static. Think of coherence as an inner geometry, a triangle of forces. One side is intention, the why behind what you do, the quiet compass of meaning. Another side is attention, the where of your focus, the place you pour your energy in the present moment. The third side is action, the movement you make, the physical imprint of choice on the world. A triangle collapses if one side is missing. So too does your life feel unstable when one of these currents is neglected. Many people live with fractured geometry. Their intention says one thing, their attention is scattered elsewhere, and their actions follow the path of least resistance. They want love, but their attention is lost in endless distractions, and their actions betray their desire with avoidance. They want peace, but their attention is glued to conflict, and their actions replicate the very chaos they fear. This fracture breeds despair. It convinces you that life is hostile, when in truth, it is only reflecting the misalignment within. Coherence does not demand perfection. It does not require that every breath be mindful or every plan succeed. It requires honesty, to admit what you truly want, to place your attention on what nurtures that want instead of what poisons it, and then to take even the smallest step that embodies it. Intention without attention becomes fantasy. Attention without action becomes paralysis. Action without intention becomes hollow repetition. But together, they form a living geometry strong enough to hold you steady. Imagine a musician. If their intention is to share beauty, their attention rests on the instrument, and their action is to play, the result is music. But if intention falters, if they play only for applause, their attention slips, their action stiffens, and the music becomes noise. The same is true in life. Alignment creates harmony. Fracture creates distortion. Some call this quantum coherence. Just as particles at great distances move in mysterious unity, so too do the elements of your being seek to resonate. When they do, you feel less like you are fighting the world and more like you are moving with a current that recognizes you. Opportunities seem to arise without force. Encounters feel charged with meaning. This is not magic. It is the natural rhythm of coherence. But coherence is not achieved through force. You cannot bully yourself into alignment. You invite it gently. You sit with your real intention, stripped of masks. What do I truly want in this season of my life? You then choose where to place your gaze, not on what frightens you, but on what supports you. And then, without waiting for perfect readiness, you act. One step, however small, that embodies both the intention and the attention. When you begin to practice this geometry, exhaustion lessens, confusion softens. You no longer feel like 1,000 pieces moving in different directions. You become one presence. You move slower, perhaps, but deeper. Each action resonates because it carries the frequency of alignment. And resonance is stronger than force. The world has taught you to admire intensity, to grind, to hustle, to push until collapse. But intensity without coherence burns like a wildfire that consumes everything and leaves only ash. Coherence burns differently. It is the steady flame of a candle that can last through the night, illuminating without destroying. Your task is not to amplify noise. Your task is to tune your instrument. When intention, attention, and action hum together, you stop fighting time. You stop fearing lateness. You are exactly where you need to be because you are whole in your direction. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what do I want? Where is my attention now? What action can I take that belongs to this desire? When the answers align, you will feel it in your body, a quiet relief, a sense of being carried instead of dragged. This is coherence. This is the geometry of your becoming. There comes a turning point when the endless search exhausts itself. For years, you may have been hunting for meaning, chasing transformation, praying for some revelation to arrive like lightning. You read books, attend workshops, absorb philosophies, hoping that somewhere, hidden in the noise, you will discover the final secret that makes everything fall into place. And yet, the more you search, the further the horizon drifts away. The answer never arrives because the act of searching keeps you always one step removed from the place where truth actually lives, here. Presence does not arrive like a victory. It does not announce itself with trumpets or a flood of certainty. Presence is ordinary. It sits quietly in the mundane, in the daily rhythm you overlook because you think enlightenment must be grand. But presence hides in the smallest gestures, the way sunlight spills through a window in the morning, the weight of your body resting on a chair, the sound of your own breath as you exhale after holding it too long. These are not trivial details. They are entry points into reality. The human mind loves drama. It longs for climaxes, for breakthroughs, for extraordinary moments that prove life is meaningful. But life itself is not built of constant revelations. It is woven of countless ordinary instants, strung together like beads. When you learn to see the ordinary as enough, the hunger for dramatic transformation softens. You realize you are not missing life, you are overlooking it. Presence is not passive. It is not resignation. It is not giving up on growth. It is the opposite. Presence is the foundation that makes growth possible without tearing yourself apart. Imagine a house built without a ground. Every gust of wind would shake it to pieces. Presence is the ground. It stabilizes you so that whatever change comes, you are not scattered by it. The searching self is restless. It always asks, what's next? Where else should I go? What am I missing? The present self does not erase those questions. It simply doesn't let them rule. Instead, it whispers, this moment is already whole. This breath is already enough. I do not need to escape it to be real. Consider this shift. When you are searching, you look outward, comparing, measuring, trying to find the missing piece in the world. When you are present, you look inward and discover that the missing piece was never missing at all. It was the silence you ignored, the stillness you feared, the simplicity you dismissed as too small. But in that simplicity lies the very truth you were hunting. You may wonder, does this mean I should stop striving? Should I abandon goals, dreams, desires? Number. Presence does not erase direction. It transforms how you walk toward it. Without presence, goals are mirages pulling you forward into exhaustion. With presence, goals are pathways you explore while already rooted in the richness of now. The journey ceases to be desperate. It becomes alive. Think of someone sipping tea. If they drink while planning tomorrow, while regretting yesterday, the tea is invisible. If they drink while simply tasting the warmth, noticing the fragrance, feeling the liquid travel through their body, the same act becomes sacred. The tea did not change. The presence did. Life is exactly like that. The shift from searching to presence is not a single event. It is not a final awakening that happens once and never fades. It is a practice, a rhythm, a returning. You will forget. You will chase again. You will get lost in the noise. And then, with gentleness, you will return. Each return strengthens the ground beneath your feet. Each return is proof that you were never truly lost. You are not asked to renounce ambition. You are asked to stop confusing ambition with salvation. Nothing you achieve will prove your existence is valid. It already is. From that foundation, you may create, love, build, explore, but no longer from emptiness. You act from fullness. Pause now. Notice your body, the way your chest rises and falls, the weight of your hands resting where they are, the faint sounds around you. This is not preparation for life. This is life. And when you claim this ordinary moment as sufficient, you step out of the endless search and into presence. And here, presence whispers its first truth. You are already home. Presence is not built in a single revelation. It is cultivated through rhythm, the steady pulse of choices that do not shout, but whisper. These choices are not glamorous. They will not make headlines, nor will they impress anyone scrolling past your life from the outside. Yet they hold power because they weave presence into the texture of your days. The first tool is morning alignment. Not a long routine, not a checklist of achievements before dawn, but a moment of tuning. As soon as you wake, before screens, before obligations, sit with yourself. Scan your body. Where is it tense? Where is it open? Whisper one clear intention for the day. Not 10, not 5, 1. Today, I choose clarity. Today, I protect my energy. Today, I move gently. Then commit to a single action before midday that reflects that intention. Small, concrete, undeniable. Drink water slowly, send one message you've delayed, step outside, and feel sunlight. These are not minor acts, they are anchors. The second tool is the weekly rhythm. Our culture glorifies constant productivity, but the body and mind crave ebb and flow. Try the rhythm of 2 deep days, 3 light days. On deep days, immerse in focused work or creativity. On light days, allow more space, more recovery, more play. Protect windows of time with no meetings, no obligations, no noise. Sacred pockets where you can breathe. At week's end, reflect. What gave me life? What drained me? This inventory is not judgment, it is feedback. Over time, it becomes a map of what truly sustains you. The third tool is boundaries. Boundaries are not walls of hostility, they are doors of coherence. Every no you speak is a guardian of your rhythm. When you say no, you are not rejecting others. You are protecting the fragile flame of your presence. Boundaries do not require long explanations. A short phrase is enough. I cannot today. That does not work for me. The fewer words, the clearer the message. Boundaries are not coldness, they are clarity, and clarity is a form of care. The fourth tool is an information diet. Much of your attention is stolen not by people you know, but by the endless current of news, notifications, and noise. The nervous system was not built to absorb the entire planet's chaos in a single hour. Choose silence. Unsubscribe from voices that do not nourish you. Create windows without screens, a morning hour, an evening ritual. Let darkness return at night. Turn off glowing devices. Let the body sink back into rhythms older than electricity. This is not deprivation. It is reclamation. The fifth tool is micro-integration. At day's end, before sleep, summarize in 5 sentences, out loud if possible. Not a report, not a performance. Simply speak to yourself. Today I noticed. Today I learned. Today I felt. Today I released. Today I am grateful. This practice gives shape to experience. It prevents the days from dissolving into a blur. It offers closure without heaviness. The body rests easier when the mind knows the day has been honored. None of these tools demand perfection. They do not punish if skipped. They are invitations, not laws. Their purpose is not to make you efficient, but to make you alive within the hours you are given. They slow the frantic pace that leaves you gasping. They remind you that quick is not always alive, that doing less can mean being more. Think of these tools as seeds, each one small, each one quiet, but together they grow a forest of stability. You will not notice the change at once, but weeks later, you will feel it, less scattered, less depleted, more rooted, not because life has become easier, but because you are no longer leaking your energy into 1,000 cracks. You have gathered yourself. Daily rhythm is not about control. It is about trust. Trusting that presence will grow if you give it space. Trusting that saying no will not collapse your world. Trusting that silence is not emptiness, but soil. These gentle practices do not promise a dramatic transformation. They promise something subtler and perhaps more precious: steadiness. And steadiness is a rare form of power. It is not loud, but it endures. It does not dazzle, but it carries you across years. With these rhythms, you do not force life to obey you. You walk alongside it, step for step, in a pace you can sustain. Pause now. Imagine your day not as a battlefield, but as a song. Morning intention as the first note. Protected windows as the pauses. Boundaries as the rhythm. Silence as the breath between lines. Nightly reflection as the closing chord. Life becomes music, not through perfection, but through coherence of rhythm. And when you live in rhythm, you discover this truth. You are no longer racing time, you are moving with it. You do not live in isolation. Every thought, every gesture, every rhythm within you leaks outward, shaping the invisible atmosphere around others. This is not mysticism. It is the quiet physics of human life. Anxiety spreads like smoke. Calm spreads like sunlight. And without saying a word, you are constantly broadcasting your state into the collective field. We have all felt this. Walk into a room where one person is tense and suddenly your own breath tightens. Enter a space where someone is grounded and your shoulders drop as if by permission. This resonance is not conscious imitation. It is nervous systems tuning to each other like strings of a violin, vibrating in sympathy with nearby notes. You are always within someone's field, and someone is always within yours. This is why presence matters beyond the personal. Your stillness is not only a private luxury, it is a contribution. By tending to your own rhythm, you alter the rhythm of those around you. You make it easier for them to slow down, to breathe, to trust. Without ever preaching, you invite. Without forcing, you open space. Consider the opposite. When you rush, when you scatter yourself in panic, you become part of the noise that drowns others. You push them faster, even if you never intended harm. In this sense, responsibility is unavoidable. You cannot choose whether you affect others, you can only choose how. The gift of resonance is that it does not require performance. You do not need to shout wisdom or play the role of the enlightened. You need only to inhabit your own frequency honestly, calmly, consistently. Then others, without even knowing why, will feel steadier in your presence. There is a simple practice: anchor phrases, short, compassionate sentences that can shift an atmosphere. I see your tension. Let's slow down. It's okay to pause. These are not commands. They are gentle mirrors. They signal safety. They remind the nervous system that speed is not survival, that silence is allowed. Community built on resonance is not about uniformity. It is not about everyone marching to the same beat. It is about respect for different rhythms. Some walk fast, others slow. Some need silence, others need expression. True community is not control, it is coexistence. It is the unspoken agreement. I honor your pace, and I trust you will honor mine. Imagine a group walking along a shoreline. Each person moves at their own tempo, some ahead, some behind. No one pushes, no one scolds. Yet the group remains together, carried by the same landscape, the same direction. This is resonance without coercion. It is solidarity without erasure. Presence in community also means boundaries. Resonance is not dissolving yourself to please the group. It is bringing your steadiness without abandoning your shape. Warmth plus limits. Softness plus clarity. This balance allows others to feel your presence as support, not as invasion. There is also the practice of comment anchors. Small declarations, written, spoken, or even silently affirmed, not for algorithms or approval, but for coherence. Phrases like, "I am exactly where I need to be." When shared, they weave a web of resonance, a collective reminder that no one is alone in their rhythm. These small statements ripple further than you imagine. The myth says community is for identity, but the deeper truth is this: community is for frequency. It is a field where your resonance contributes to the whole, and the whole sustains your resonance. Together, people generate a current that no individual could sustain alone. A fire that burns without consuming. When you see yourself this way, not as a separate fragment, but as part of a living field, presence gains weight. It is no longer just for me. It becomes relational, a form of service. Your steadiness becomes medicine. Your rhythm becomes invitation. And that is enough. So remember, every breath you take in calmness is also a gift to others. Every boundary you protect makes space for someone else to protect theirs. Every pause you honor signals to another that pausing is safe. You are not merely tending to your own life. You are shaping the resonance of the collective. And in this awareness, presence deepens. My peace is not private, it is a contribution. Presence is not denial of time. It does not erase the past, nor does it blind you to the future. Presence holds both, yesterday and tomorrow, and integrates them into the steady rhythm of now. Without this integration, you are torn apart. The past drags you backward with regret. The future pulls you forward with fear. With integration, both become companions, not tyrants. The past as a field of compassion. When you look back, it is tempting to see only failure. The jobs you didn't take, the relationships that collapsed, the years you think you wasted. The voice inside says, I am late because I lost so much time. But pause. Each so-called mistake is not dead weight. It is infrastructure, a foundation of lessons, scars, and resilience that now supports your steps. Think of the past not as a chain, but as a teacher. Every error gave you empathy you could not have invented. Every detour trained patience you would not have chosen. Every collapse built endurance that now serves others as much as yourself. To integrate the past is to shift from blame to compassion. You begin to see, my delays are not proof of failure, they are proof of preparation. There is a practice here. Write one paragraph beginning with, I no longer chase. In these words, you release pursuits that drained you. You declare that the past has done its work, and you do not need to repeat it. This is not erasure, it is integration. It allows the story to end, so the next one can begin. The future as a field of possibilities. Fear tells you the future is a test you must pass. It whispers, hurry, or you will miss your chance. But the future is not a single doorway that closes. It is a wide field of possible routes. Each moment, you choose one direction and life responds. There is no fixed destiny pulling you, only an unfolding that listens. To live in presence is not to ignore tomorrow, it is to hold it lightly. You orient yourself like a compass pointing north, but you walk without panic. The signals that matter are not in distant forecasts, but in your own body, in the quiet signs of resonance, a sense of ease when you imagine one path, a tightening when you imagine another. The future is not predicted, it is felt moment to moment. This is the formula of calm ambition, loyalty to process plus clarity of boundaries plus rhythm of rest. Ambition without presence burns you alive. Ambition with presence becomes steady fuel. It does not demand everything at once. It moves in sustainable pulses like a heartbeat. Returning subjectivity. Integration is also reclaiming subjectivity. Instead of saying, life carried me, I had no choice, you begin to say, I choose now. Past mistakes stop defining you. They become background music. Future uncertainty stops enslaving you. It becomes open space. In presence, you act not as a victim of time, but as its partner. Images of integration. Picture two maps, one marked with old routes, notes of detours, stains of failure. The other, blank, ready for fresh ink. You hold both at once. The old map does not shame you. It reminds you of where you've been and what you've learned. The blank one does not terrify you. It excites you with possibility. Together, they form a compass of wholeness. Or imagine leaves drifting in a stream. The current carries them, yet your hand can gently guide their direction. You are not powerless, nor are you in control of everything. You are in partnership with the flow. This is integration. The result of integration. When past and future are integrated, presence deepens. Regret dissolves into wisdom. Fear dissolves into openness. You realize that nothing essential can be lost. What matters will always find you when you are ready. What belongs to you will remain. The rest you can release. You end the chase. You end the panic. You look at yesterday and say, thank you. You look at tomorrow and say, I am not afraid. And then you look at today and say, this is enough. Life does not wait, yet life also does not rush. It flows in a rhythm both vast and intimate, like the tide that meets the shore, again and again, without ever missing its time. And within this rhythm, you are not late. You have never been late. Every step, even the hesitant ones, has carried you here. All that we have explored, presence, coherence, rhythm, resonance, compassion for the past, openness to the future, now gathers into a single truth. This truth is not shouted. It does not need proof. It rests quietly in the body, steady as breath. I am on time. Think back to the seasons. No tree apologizes for the pace of its blooming. No winter hurries to be spring. The cycles turn, and within them every leaf, every bud, every fall of snow arrives when it must. Why do you think you are different? You too are a season. You too unfold at your natural rhythm. When you say, "I am late," you measure yourself against an illusion, a timeline invented by culture, comparison, and fear. When you say, "I am on time," you align yourself with reality, with the pulse of life that has always carried you even when you did not notice. This declaration is not a mantra to repeat mechanically. It is a way of standing, a way of breathing, straightening the spine, feeling the ground beneath your feet, allowing your chest to expand without shame. I am on time. Not because you have achieved everything, not because life is perfect, but because this moment is enough. And enough is all that ever mattered. Consider how this truth alters ambition. You still dream, you still build, you still move toward what calls you, but no longer as a fugitive, chased by the fear of missing out. Now you move as a traveler, walking a path that will always be here when you arrive. The fear of running out of time dissolves. What replaces it is gentleness. Gentleness is not weakness. It is the strongest current you can carry. It allows you to endure without breaking, to change without shattering, to love without needing to control. Gentleness is the rhythm of presence. It makes space for your humanity, and in doing so, it gives permission for others to be human too. When you claim, "I am on time," you are not only speaking for yourself, you are sending a signal into the field. You are telling the nervous systems around you, there is no rush. Safety is here. We can breathe. And in that signal, you become an anchor for others. So pause. Place your hands on your chest. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Whisper softly with no one listening but yourself. I am on time. Feel how the words shift your posture, soften your face, open your lungs. This is not performance. This is alignment. From this place, the endless hunger of searching falls quiet. The regrets of the past find their place as teachers. The fears of the future loosen their grip. You stand, present, coherent, alive. You do not need to rush toward life anymore because you are already inside it. And this is the threshold, the place where the narrative turns from journey to declaration, where searching becomes presence, where presence becomes embodiment, where embodiment becomes freedom. There comes a moment when words no longer push you forward, but instead allow you to rest inside yourself. This is the moment we arrive at now. The long journey of presence, coherence, rhythm, and integration has led here to a simple recognition that requires no justification. You are on time. The gathering of keys. Let us gather all the keys we have carried through these chapters. The acceptance that your rhythm is not failure, but timing. The release of the myth of the perfect moment. The geometry of coherence. Intention, attention, action in alignment. The shift from endless seeking to presence in the ordinary. The gentle tools that shape daily life without violence. The resonance you contribute to community by tending your own flame. The compassion for your past and openness to your future. These are not theories to memorize. They are living practices, each one small enough to hold in your hand, strong enough to shape the current of a lifetime. Together, they form a compass. And when you hold this compass, the direction is steady, even when the path is unclear. The declaration without pomp. The declaration is not dramatic. It does not need thunder or applause. It is quiet, like the click of a lock turning, like the breath you did not notice you were holding until it released. The words are few. I am on time. Say them not as a performance, but as a posture. Say them with your spine aligned, with your feet pressing the ground, with your eyes softened. These words are not an affirmation pasted over fear. They are an orientation of being, a way of standing inside reality without resistance. When you inhabit these words, ambition transforms. You no longer chase the horizon as if it will vanish. You walk toward it, knowing it will always be there. You no longer see yourself as behind. You see yourself as unfolding. You no longer carry urgency as a whip. You carry gentleness as a guide. The city at dusk. Imagine a city at dusk. Lights flicker on, one by one. Windows glow, streets hum, shadows lengthen. Each light appears at its own time. None is late. Together, they create the nightscape, complete not because every bulb shines at once, but because each joins when it is ready. This is life. You are one of those lights. Your glow does not need to match another's. It needs only to arrive when it is called, and it already has. The road into darkness. Now picture a road stretching into the evening. The horizon fades. The path disappears into shadow. You cannot see the destination, yet your step is steady. You do not need the entire map, only the ground beneath the next stride. The road does not punish you for not running. It welcomes each pace, one after another. Walking is enough. This is presence. The ritual of closure. To seal this journey, let us create a small ritual. Sit upright. Place both palms over your heart. Take 3 slow breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. With each exhale, release one illusion. First, the illusion of lateness. Second, the illusion of perfection. Third, the illusion that your worth depends on speed. Then whisper, not to the world, but to yourself, I am on time. Allow the phrase to echo inward, to rest not in the mind, but in the body. Notice how your shoulders ease, how the jaw softens, how the belly loosens. This is not suggestion. This is physiology aligning with truth. Finally, offer gratitude, not the forced gratitude of lists, but a quiet thank you to yourself for enduring, for trying, for returning again and again. Gratitude seals presence. It marks the moment not as random, but as chosen. The field you create. When you live this truth, you carry it outward. Others will feel it without needing explanation. In your calm, they will find permission to pause. In your gentleness, they will rediscover their own. You do not need to convert anyone. Simply by existing in rhythm, you broadcast the frequency of presence. This is how the world changes, not through noise, but through resonance. The aftertaste of clarity. What remains is not fireworks, not triumph, not the intoxication of grand endings. What remains is clarity, a quiet sense that you are exactly where you need to be, that nothing essential has been lost, that your compass points inward and forward at the same time. You leave not with promises of transformation, but with a subtle shift in gravity. From now on, when the old voices rise, you are late, you are failing, you must hurry. You will recognize them as echoes, not commands. you will answer them with steadiness. I am on time. And this phrase will not be argument, but truth. It will not be defiance, but alignment. It will not be borrowed, but lived. The compass within. So take this with you. A compass that does not point north or south, but inward. Its needle rests on presence. Its direction is always here. And whenever you feel lost, whenever you feel behind, return to it. Touch your chest. Breathe. Whisper. Align. Because this is the secret. The present is not waiting for you to arrive. You are already here. And in this recognition, there is no lateness, no rushing, no lack. There is only life unfolding at the speed of truth. I am on time, and this feeling, this grounded, embodied clarity, is my compass.